Hello everyone, welcome to This Chick Budgets. My name is Elle, and on this channel we are going to talk about debt, paying off debt, saving money, and paying off our mortgage early. And in order to do so, there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle, y'all. And in this video, we're gonna go over exactly how much we owe and what our game plan is. So stay tuned.
Sound drive.
All right, so I do my budgeting manual and digital. So this is actually my Debt Crush workbook, which I mentioned in our first video. And it is a culmination of everything that I wanted to track, that I wanted to stay on top of, and our progress along the way. Excuse my little baby chicks in the background. They are literally 5 feet away from me. I'm about a week old, and they have been very vocal today. So I do apologize in advance. So this is a list of our bills, and we do get 2 little reimbursements at the bottom here. Just to explain this really quickly, we do not pay our kids auto insurance. However, one of them is still on our policy, so they reimburse us for that. And my brother-in-law, who does also live with us, every once in a while when he has extra cash, he does give us money. So this is our mess, if you will. I've always wanted to do the little sparkle thingies. So this is our mess of debt. And I listed these out in order of due date. And I also included the grace period, the late fees or consequences, along with our monthly payment. So I wanted a good overall view of what our debt picture looked like, what our bill picture looked like, expense picture per month, however you want to call it. This is the overview of what we owe each and every month. And it starts on the first and ends on the last day of the month. Now, our mortgage, on other screens throughout my workbook, you're going to see a much different mortgage figure. On some of the other screens that I will show you a little bit later, I'm tracking how much we're paying our mortgage off. So part of the $2,078 does include PMI insurance as well as taxes and homeowners insurance, which really I don't care about paying off. I just care about our actual mortgage figure. So within my workbook, you will see both versions, both what we pay in total and also the mortgage payment reduction that I am actually tracking. So just to bring that out in the open, throughout this workbook, you will see 2 different mortgage numbers, and that's what that means. Along with our solar loan, we do have an Amazon credit card. I do have a loan on my vehicle. Electricity, I know this sounds weird. We have solar and electric. We did not have a very positive solar experience. So we are off on our solar when the sun is out, and when the sun goes down overnight, we are on electric. So unfortunately, right now, that is the way that it is. We basically got absolutely screwed. So we're dealing with the aftermath of that. We also have 3 other little credit cards, mid, high, and low, which you can see right here, mid, high, and low. I named those due to the balances, not balances, but our limits. It was just an easier way for me to figure out what was what. Disney Plus, I do know that a lot of people would delete some of the extras that we have on here. The reason why I have a little bit of extras on our account is primarily because my husband drives for a living. He does not have the luxury of coming home after work and relaxing at the end of the evening. That is not his job. So He is on the road quite often. He likes mindless TV. That's just something he requested, so that is something that we are paying for. We also have car insurances. This does include the reimbursement that we get from our son, as well as my car and my husband's truck, which we do own outright, meaning he does not have a car payment. We do have a Synchrony credit card. However, we are in a 12-month no interest period. My husband needed to get new tires on his truck in order to cancel out our storage bill. Our storage unit is in a different state. Therefore, we needed new tires in order to go get what was in that storage unit and cancel out $105 storage bill per month, as well as the renter's insurance per month on that storage unit. So I needed to pay for new tires and pay $126 a month for 12 months in order to get rid of 2 bills. It's unfortunate that it had to happen that way. It is what it is. But I'm trying to get rid of stuff, so it was a good investment for us. Especially seeming we do not have interest on that credit card as long as I can pay it off within 12 months. We also have pest control service. I know that I can do some of this on my own, and a lot of it we do on our own. However, I live in the middle of the woods. And with that comes a plethora of bugs. Bugs you have never seen before, bugs that are the size of your fist, bugs that are the size of golf balls. It is a whole different environment out here, and until we can get a grip on how to control what is around us to the best of our advantage and ability, we do pay for pest control service. If I could get rid of that, it would be amazing, but for right now we do pay for our service. We also have a loan with the pest control company because they set our termite baits as well as put insulation in our attic. When we did buy this house, it had very little done to it. It was almost as if people lived here, but they didn't upkeep a damn thing. So a lot of it is just, it wasn't upkept. Things weren't done. So as new homeowners, we were a little naive in the beginning. So we jumped on the opportunity to be proactive, especially assuming the attic wasn't insulated. And our area was notorious for seasonal termites, especially the subterranean kind, that basically swarm around any fluorescent bulb, I do believe it is, like gas stations and stores. They're everywhere. Not just the ones that live in the wood in your house. They do live in the dirt outside. So that was a recommendation that was given to us upon move-in. So we jumped at the opportunity. However, now we have another bill to pay. Isn't that just how it is when you own a home, especially when you're a first-time home buyer? Bills seem to come out of the woodwork and seep from the walls. It's just inevitable. I didn't even have this many bills when we were renting. The driving subscription is a service that my husband subscribes to because he drives for a living. This is basically driver's legal, and it will put a retainer on a lawyer to fight on his behalf should he ever get into. So this is something that is new for us this month. Actually, as of late last month, to pay that back. So this is 3 student loans put together, and our renter's insurance and our storage unit we talked about earlier, and our lawnmower. I know, weird, huh? We have a loan on our lawnmower. Little bit of a backstory. We live on acreage. Y'all, I am not getting out in the Texas sun in the middle of July to mow acreage. A push mower and a simple rider lawnmower that you would use for your residential backyard is not going to cut it. We have a commercial lawnmower, y'all. Commercial lawnmower. A $10,000 lawnmower that we are paying off. $282 a month. Now, mind you, the reason why we did that, and I was all for it when we first moved in here, is, y'all, there's no interest. No interest. So I love no interest. However, it does take a ding out of our monthly budget. So those are all of our bills explained, with these two little minor aids, if you will, per month, bringing us to a total monthly expense, including our minimum payment on everything, is $4,716. Y'all, that is the most we've ever had to pay. Ever had to pay. Ever. So, this is our debt overview sheet. Now, I have our loans broken down a little bit more specific into minimum payments, starting balances, ending balance, and the percentage of interest. So, I know where we started, which is $422,992 worth of debt. Worth of crap, I like to call it. Now we still owe $367,935. Now, almost none of it, except maybe 4, was pre-house. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. So anything that is in purple on this sheet is going to be debt based upon this table. I wanted kind of an overview, so anything that's in pink is strictly mortgage related. I wanted to know where we started, how much we've paid off, my original payoff date, and my payoff date, my original payoff date with my payoff date, meaning with extra payments, how much am I shaving off? And y'all, I hope my math is correct. I am not a math genius. I failed math in high school. Let's just be real. I'm not an expert, but I know Excel. I knew Google Sheets enough to be dangerous. If you know Excel, y'all, you can do Google Sheets. As an overview, my purple graph down here, which is the pie chart, is the percentage of my overall debt expenses on how much everything costs us. Then I have a budget breakdown, which this is what I meant by in my first video on how I do an electronic budget also, so that I don't muck up my Budget Mom workbook. Spent a lot of money on that book, y'all. I want it to be pretty. But I don't get into the stickers, and I don't get into the washi tape, and I don't get into, all of the 100 different colors of pretty highlighters and pockets and everything else. I'm very, very simple. So I want everything to be clean. So I will use this sheet that I made to basically work all my numbers. Once my numbers all work out, I can then transpose it onto my budget worksheet and use it as reference. So just to basically show you, I will do it on this sheet first, and then I can write it down on my book and it won't mess up anything. Versus exactly what I did at the beginning of the month, y'all. That's what I end up with. This can't happen. So I use my electronic version to play with my dollars and cents. Actually, I don't even use cents on my workbooks. I round up. So it gives me a really good way to play with my dollars and play with my numbers before I actually write it down and it becomes concrete. Because once I start paying bills, that's it. I don't play with anything. So if I write it in my book, it's concrete. Here is kind of where I play. I do also have a way to track my sinking funds. This is how I track my digital sinking funds. So I do have a wish target. This is how I track my digital sinking funds. So I do have a wish target. These are all of the wish amounts that I would like to have in all of my accounts. In a perfect world, if we didn't have bills to pay, if I didn't have pets to take care of, and a husband to spoil, in a perfect world, that's how much we would have in each account. And then, this part is reality. That's how much I have in there to date as of today. So every paycheck, when I pay all of my bills, I will basically go in there and put, what do I have in there right now as I'm doing the next paycheck period's budget. So this is always 2 weeks current, give or take a couple days. And then I can kind of see visually again how close I am to my goal, my wish target. So in a perfect world, I would have $36,000 in accounts waiting for me to grab. But let's be real. That's how much I actually have, or at a different bank. So one of my tips is don't put all your eggs in one basket. I also have an amortization spreadsheet that I created. And y'all, these sheets look intimidating as hell. I assure you, I cannot tell you how to do these off the top of my head. This was strictly watching other YouTube channels that are far more of experts on this topic than me. And I sat there and I paused and I paused and I paused the videos until I could copy exactly what they were doing to get the result that I wanted. And it might have taken 2 or 3 videos to get there, because y'all, a lot of people on YouTube have amortization schedules for mortgages and they don't include extra payment. So I had to watch a few videos to get the kind of formulations that I wanted and what information I wanted to see. Because what good is having a worksheet or an amortization schedule if it's not giving you all the information that you want and all the information that you need? That amortization schedule then becomes useless because you're not going to use it. So this was a one and done, as long as I don't muck up my table now and delete something I'm not supposed to. But this is a way for me to stay on track. So like I said in my previous list of bills, my mortgage, including insurance and taxes and PMI insurance, is $2,078. But my actual mortgage with payment, principal, and interest is only $1,223. And again, this number is not my real estimated number at all, because let's face it, I did not pay exactly a rounded number for our house. So I'm just dealing with rounded figures, y'all. But this is a good estimate on principal and interest only. So every time that I am making an extra payment, I am putting it here. So my calculation will be all based on my principal plus extra payment, and interest is going to reduce my balances per month. And this goes all the way down until I pay off the mortgage. So it gives me a good idea on if I make extra payment, if I make no extra payments, this is how much off of $277,000, that's how much I would pay back if I don't pay anything extra. But if I do pay extra payments, this is how much we're paying back. So as you can see, there's a difference of like 70 something dollars here, $72.51. Because this is how much I am saving in between these two numbers. So this $72.51 is going to increase the more extra payments I put on my principal. I want to know from all my hard work and by paying extra payments in real time how much I am saving. And this is my interest savings. This $72.51 is the difference between the bank winning and me winning. So this number with extra payments will decrease while this number, $72.51, increases. every month I make extra payments because we want this number to be as low to $277,000 as possible. I don't want the bank to profit my money. I want to profit my money. So this has to lower. My interest savings has to increase. This is what I want to see. I also do the same thing with my credit cards. This is my low, mid, high, and Amazon card related off of the minimum payment, which this payment's going to be written in differently every month according to exactly what I pay. And it will auto calculate interest in real time and give me my balance. So this is not going to be exact down to the penny. It's not even going to be exact down to the dollar. It's not even going to be exact down to the month of payoff. I probably will get darn close, but this is just going to be a guesstimate. This is just a spreadsheet that I created to where I can track my own progress and not have to go to a website like calculator.net or bankrate.com or any other mortgage calculator websites or credit card amortization payoff calculator websites. I don't have to re-enter all this information every single time. All I have to do is change the figures in my own spreadsheet, and it's geared toward me, and I create the spreadsheet once. So it was a way for me to stay on top of everything, basically at my fingertips. Now, not only did I do this for our mortgage and our credit cards, I also did this for my student loans. So as you make payments, you'll see my last payment is $45, which really isn't true because my balance in the previous month right here is $24.90. So this payment will be $24.90 and my balance will be $0. If I were to pay off using extra payments, let's say January of this year, I'm going to make a $200 payment. Do you see how it all amortized? It changed. So by me making in January this $200 payment, so January 2024, let's say I made a $200 payment, that completely changed my balance, which gave me different interest. In February of 2024, I paid another, let's just say $250. It's going to change everything below it. So if I keep making $250 payments, I will now pay it off October of 2024. Because I only have $205 left as a balance, I pay that and my balance is $0. Versus if I don't, I pay it off February of 2029. February of 2029 is my payoff date. Now watch what happens when I bring this back. I bring this back to $45. It's going to re-amortize everything. There's our pest control, our mower, a car loan, and the tires. So this is my workbook that I created, and it was inspired by the Budget Mom workbook. I take these figures and I transpose them into the workbook. It just gives me more of a workable, real-time scenario versus a much more in-depth manual process, at least in my opinion. Now, if there are other ways that y'all do any of these things that I showed you within my workbook, let me know in the comments below. I would love to see what other ways that you are using to basically get the job done. There's a plethora of ways to do it. It's just a matter of finding out what you are comfortable doing and what works best for you. So I definitely made this my own journey and created, exactly what I wanted to see, what I wanted to track, and kind of let go of the rest. things of my net worth is really not something that I want to track at this moment, because I have much more pressing things to worry about. So I created other sheets versus using some of the closeout worksheets that the Budget Mom workbook does have. I do it less than every month, far less than every month. So I tend to work more in my digital workbook than I do the Budget Mom workbook, but I use them both together. So this is basically all of it in a nutshell. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I would love to show you what I'm working on, love to show you my budgeting process, which the next video you will be budgeting an actual paycheck with me. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully in a couple months' time, we will not be paying this monthly expense. So hopefully I'm really going to put a dent in our expenses over the next couple of months, make some real progress, so we can start the new year off right with far less debt than we started this year with. And I'll see you on my next video.